I grew up in the former GDR in East Germany.
I bid on it and I got it, and I was really, truly excited to come here and work.
I was offered a position and I thought I'll check it out.
Because here are just the embassies, the parliament.
You go where love takes you.
I took opportunity to come back to Berlin as a press officer.
Because my husband, John Emerson, was asked by President Obama if he would like to be nominated to be ambassador here. And of course, John and I agreed that this would be an incredibly interesting journey and a way for us to give back to our country. So we said yes.
Women's History Month is such an interesting month to point out where women are working, where women are making research advances, who's doing interesting stuff that just is behind the scenes. So absolutely, when you see a report about someone who wrote a book that changed how we do research and how we educate children, you know, no one knows about that until someone points out, and that's why this month is still really important.
Women's History Month is still very important, and yes, it's very needed because, well, we need to keep reminding everyone that there are extremely important women who have been leaders and who have faced enormous challenges in the world and who have been inspirations to generations of women, American women especially, everywhere. And I also think it's important to recognize that we aren't there yet as women and that we still have a lot of challenges in order to get on an even playing field with our gender counterparts.
Absolutely, I think it's still necessary to shine a light on women's issues. We always think that we're so far ahead in our endeavors to make men and women opportunities equal. And I feel like that's not the case. So therefore, to shine a light on that, I think that day is pretty much needed, very much needed.
So on the one hand, I think we've made important strides, and I personally think it's important not to separate ourselves too much out of fear that we somehow make being a woman the story and not what our individual accomplishments are. That being said, I think that it is always worth celebrating the achievements that have been made, and there is no question that there have been a lot of achievements made. And at the same time, I think that there's still a really interesting discussion to be had about what women actually bring into the workplace. And you know, it's fact, well documented, well researched, that women bring something different than men. And so I think the conversation has changed. It's no longer about how do we break those glass ceilings, but what has been the value of having done so.
I think it's very important, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Whether it's needed, I don't know. I mean, if I look at our section, it's very male. I mean, there are more men than women in agriculture, I guess, but other than that, I think it's pretty balanced, so I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yes. I don't think that having a Women's History Month is going to change some of the prejudices and the preconceived notions that people have about women, especially women in history, but I do think it's important to have that month to highlight all of the contributions that women have made throughout history, not just in our modern times.
We need to remind ourselves that it has been a long way, you know. About 100 years ago, women couldn't vote in most parts of the world, actually. And only like 60 years ago or so, equal rights for women were made part of our German constitution.
I do, actually, because I think it would be easy for people to forget just how far women have come, and a woman of my age can remember some of the milestones that we had in the struggle to make women a little bit more equal with men, getting the same kind of pay for similar work. And when I joined the Foreign Service, there was actually a civil lawsuit about paying women and selecting women and making sure that they didn't get asked questions or weren't evaluated differently when they took the test. So I saw that firsthand when I first joined, and I think the Women's History Month is a way to bring people back to remember, to focus on some of these things in case there's a tendency to not remember that hard-won rights, you still need to advocate for those and make sure that you can still maintain parity.